What is up, you guys? It's your boy Louis Torres again, and today I'm going to be using my 1987 ESP M1 Custom neck-through body that I was lucky enough to find. I've been looking for it for 15 years, just to give you an idea. Anyway, I'm actually going to be running out of my Mesa Stiletto, which is a multi-watt 5100. It's an EL34, and I have it set to 50 watts. That being said, you guys need to understand that the Mesa Stiletto is designed for, it's funny, it's designed for people that like the Marshall sound but really hate Marshall. Mesa is like, we got you, Bronco. We know what we're going to do. We're going to make you a Marshall clone, but we're going to Mesa-ize it. So that's how they came up with the Stiletto, because if anything, what you end up hearing more often than not is the fact that the Mesa Stiletto just doesn't have that punch that any of the rectifiers do. And, you know, what's funny is that the second version of the Stiletto, which my boy Mike Hasty from Walls of Jericho has, and I'm super jealous because his is loaded with gain, and I have the first version. So that being said, so I always try to figure out new pedals to use with it. Sometimes I'll use my Boss parametric EQ. I'll use my MXR 10-band EQ. Anything to try to help that kind of frequency that's kind of chintzy. Yeah, ching, ching. Chang, chang. You guys know what I'm talking about when you plug into an amp and you're just like, yo, why is this thing all treble? Like, you know, you can crank the mid and crank the bass, lower the treble, and there's still too much treble on it. That's what the Stiletto kind of is like. That's why it's a little different than the Marshall, but at least you can get a Marshall JCM 800 sound. And I'm talking about the 2203, 2204, not the 2205s and the 2210 that they came out with, because those are garbage. That's just my opinion. I've used them and prefer the JCM 800, 2203, or the 04. Anyway, the Mesa Stiletto, for the most part, is kind of in line with the JCM 800. It just has a little extra gain than the JCM 800 does. So you can play around with it. You can throw some things in it. I actually used the Dracaris at one point, and it sounded great. But I just plugged in my VFE Standout, and that thing is absolute killer. Let me go plug this guy in so you guys can hear it. All right, guys, so there you have it. So here's the kind of plus aspect with the Stiletto is that you're always going to find it a lot cheaper than any rectifier, right? So do I love rectifiers? I have two of them, absolutely. Now, for the most part in the secondary market, you'll find a dual rectifier, between 750, 850. You'll find the triple rectifier between 825, 950 in that ballpark. Whereas the first generation of the Stiletto, you'll get that between 500, 600, 650 on the high end. And the only thing you have to do, which you'll have to run in, you'll run into with any of the Diablos, is you're going to need a boost with it. So one of my buddies from New York City told me that something as simple as, and this is exactly what he said, use the Maxon OD808 and a Fortin 33. He actually uses exactly that with his Stiletto, and he's a touring guitarist with a big hardcore band. And if that's what he's using, I have those pedals and they are great. I kind of feel like I get kind of the same tone with this pedal, the VFE Standout boost, mid boost. So, it's one of those things where, listen, if you get the chance to buy a Mesa Stiletto for $500, get it. You're not going to find any rectifier in that ballpark, and it's going to rip with a little help, of course. All right, guys. Hey, listen, if you're new to the channel, subscribe if you like this video. If you don't, then you get that. So for everyone else, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the absolute best. We're this close to 2,000 subscribers. That is crazy. I remember when I had 10, and get this, when it was 10, at that point, I was just kind of pushing more of my photography than music. I think I had like 20 subscribers when I was just like, switching gears from photography to music. Let's see what happens. So thank you so much. If you guys, chat with me, there's a lot of you guys that, you guys would just comment, and thank you so much for everything. Thank you for watching, all the recent episodes about, with all these different pickups. One of my boys just went ahead and sent me a Seymour Duncan Invader so I can throw into one of my guitars. So once that comes in, which should be tomorrow or the day after, I'll go ahead and throw that, solder that into one of my guitars and do a review with it. So guys, again, thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. And as usual, I will talk to you soon.